6 bats at 1-1. Baumann deals, and that is lifted foul and out of play. His second strike. It is 1-2.
To say this guy has been a thorn in their side has been an understatement. I mean, this guy, he is your typical leadoff hitter, aggressive at the plate. Obviously, a lot of long balls recently.
1-2, fouled back. It was his number when he was first called up. Up and away, 2-2 on Cardullo. Against the rest of the league, he's batting .250 with 5 homers and 30 runs batted in. Against the Barnstormers, he has hit .362 with 6 home runs, and he's driven in 13. The 2-2 from Baumann, fouled to the screen. And another prolonged at bat for a High Point Rockers batter. Nate Reed 2 nights ago looked like he had Cardullo under his thumb, and then all of a sudden 2-2 pitch hit out of the ballpark. Baumann working 2-2 on Cardullo. Buddy to the plate, and it's a ground ball on the left side. It'll be dug up by Martinez, who throws on the run. Cardullo is gone 6-3. Nice start for Baumann tonight. 1 away. Michael Russell, the second baseman, will come to the plate.
You know, I know Martinez made that look routine, but that took a funny little second hop. Didn't really come up on him, and he had to stay down on the ball. So, yeah, it looked routine, but anything but.
Last night, there were 3 plays where if the ball had stayed low, the Barnstormers may very well have gotten base hits. Instead, real so-called Sunday bounces. One very noticeably off the bat of Darian Sanford in the 5th inning. Down the first base line, it came up beautifully for Cardullo. If it stays low, I don't think there's time. Even if Cardullo fields the play, he's going to be off balance handling it. I don't know that he gets off a throw to get Darian in that situation last night. Michael Russell, a second baseman, batting at a ball and a strike here. Russell, who has seen almost half his Atlantic League action against the Barnstormers. AR.
Well, you know, you talked about already, a deep pitch count to Cardullo. Let's not take into consider, or let's take into consideration the heat and humidity. And if you're a pitcher, boy, you want to try and be out there on as few pitches as possible, because the heat will take its toll.
2-2. Russell cracks that out the left field, and for Michael Russell, a 7-game hitting streak. We mentioned he's played a lot of his action against the Barnstormers. He is now playing his 18th game here in the Atlantic League, 9 against Lancaster, so it is 50-50.
Yes, it is.
1 out single. It brings on the shortstop Tyler Ladendorf. Barnstormers will set the infield at double play depth. There have been other forms of torture used in the Spanish Inquisition and places around the world. We have our version here. It's known as that bright disk of sunlight gleaming in here in our faces early in ball games. 1 ball, no strikes to Ladendorf.
But it beats a rain delay.
It does beat a rain delay. Baumann off the inside corner, so Scott Hart, it's 2-0. One out base runner.
The rain delays over the last 2 nights are probably more time than you have actually slept.
Chewed up 3 hours of clock, 1 hour and 43 minutes. Actually 3:08, 1 hour and 43 minutes. Tuesday night, 1 hour 25 last night. Runner holds a swing and a fly ball out the right. It is carrying. Back on it is Golson. Greg has room to make the catch. Russell returns to first for a second. That got a bit scary. There is no wind to speak of here tonight. We had heavier rains earlier today. We got them out of the way early.
How many?
There was 1 rain shower that I know of that came through here. The tarp was on the field probably about an hour.
Okay, because I was down around the Philly area, and there were 2 waves of some pretty heavy rain.
There's no lightning or thunder involved today, just rain. Quincy Lattimore taking a pitch low, ball one, no strikes. Last night here, the storm that came through, I thought we were on the verge of Armageddon. When that was approaching the stadium, we didn't get hit badly here. They did in other parts of Lancaster County.
Yes, they did.
Fastball is outside 2-0, but it was clearly a supercell. You could see just the formation of the storm, that it had those supercell characteristics to it, and there was green sky. And I spent enough time living in the Midwest to know that green sky means bad things. You had that almost turquoise aquamarine look to it. 3 balls and nothing. Lattimore taking all the way and looks to strike. It is 3-1. I thought we were in for a really rough one, and here at the stadium it was nothing more than a garden variety thunderstorm. Line drive to right, hit well. Back on it goes Golson, looking up, and the walls will not contain it. Lattimore goes to the opposite field, a 2-run homer, and High Point out to the early 2-0 lead.
Again.
It is unbelievable. 2-run shot to right. And here is that interaction between the pitching staff. That pitch got in lead, but talking about that interaction, the hitter's sitting there, oh no, here we go again. And the pitcher's feeling, well, I've got to be so fine, I can't afford to give up a walk or give up base runners, because if I get behind at all, then, you know, the offense isn't going to support me. And it's just been, you don't hear it discussed necessarily, but very often that gets in the minds of the players, that each side has that, no, here we go again mentality. Gomez batting 0-2. Here's a guy hitting .415 against Lancaster. Fouling a pitch back, still 2 strikes.
High Point's not going to want to leave this place. The way they're hitting the ball.
High Point could win the World Series if they played the Barnstormers every day. I mean, this season series has just been, it's been lopsided to say the least.
Yeah.
Reminds me of some years in the past with Somerset. In 2010 with York. Gomez fights off another one. And Bauman hasn't been really falling behind hitters. He did one. Yes. But they're fighting off 2-strike pitches again. Bauman, the guy who's averaged almost 9 strikeouts, about 8.5 per 9 innings, cannot get a 3rd strike by these guys. The pitch, broken bat, ground ball, third base. Zach Schenk will field and throw low. It's dug up by Terdoslavich. Ending the inning, but it's a 2-run start for the High Point Rockers on the Lattimore home run. And we'll go to the bottom of the first with High Point up by 2. The Barnstormers with a different look to the batting order. Ross Peoples trying some new things. Casey Hobson again sitting tonight. The Barnstormers definitely feeling the loss of Dan Gamache in this lineup. Melvin Mercedes will be back shortly. He's still a few days out. And Ross just trying to weave together a lineup the best he can.
Did you get a chance to talk to Darian Sanford about playing second base?
I haven't asked him specifically about that. We've been talking more about the base running rules lately. And
he's got to be loving that.
He's had only 1 hit. He's officially reached base just once since the new rules were put in place last Friday. But he has stolen 7 bases. He was working today. It was actually a great sight to see, and one we didn't think we would see at any point, but he and Melvin Mercedes were working out together as a double play combination. Now, Mercedes is going to play more second base than shortstop, I would imagine. when he returns to the lineup. He's going, I think, jump in and be the everyday second baseman on this team. But Melvin was taking ground balls at short, and he was working with Darian on turning double plays earlier this afternoon with David Ruckert hitting fungos. Well, this team is still working, still grinding. Don't think that they're taking anything for granted or throwing in the towel right now, as difficult as this stretch has been. First pitch to Michael Martinez is low. Ball 1, no strikes, facing Tyler Herron. Herron is 2-5 with a 5.3 ERA. No decision in his one start against the Barnstormers. Martinez swings and hits a ball in the air to the left side. Jogging in Lattimore. Caleb Gindel, the designated hitter, will come in. If you're looking at anybody in this lineup right now that is still swinging the bat pretty well, it is Gindel.
Yeah.
Last night he had what would have been 2 opposite field home runs in just about any other ballpark in America. Instead, it was a double and a deep fly out. The pitch to Caleb, strike at the letters. It is 0-1.
Well, you mentioned about Baumann having not chalked up a win since May 14th. Herron's gone the month of July without a win. So 2 pitchers really looking to get back into the win column.
2 no decisions for Herron, along with 1 loss in the month. One pitch. Gindel pops this up behind second base. It is the second baseman Russell on the outfield grass for the catch. 2 outs. Terdoslavich to the plate. Joe's down to 278. Some of these batting averages are sagging over his last couple of weeks. Everybody thought that the All-Star break would bring new life, new energy to this ball club, and they'd come out on fire in the second half. And the fact that not only didn't it happen, but the fact that the ball club is now 0-6 in the second half. Jaws are dropped to a person down in the clubhouse. And nobody really seems to be able to put a finger on exactly what the issue is. Ground ball pulled foul at the first base line. It's 0-2. Is it a current issue, or is it an issue that dates back to earlier in the year?
You almost think it's a combination of everything. It's if you throw everything into the pot, and it's, you know, I hate to say it, but you almost have to just wipe the slate clean.
Gives it a ride out to right field, and way back it goes, and the walls will not contain this one. So Joe Terdoslavich with his 13th home run of the season. The Barnstormers are on the board. Freeland Almodovar did his best to try and make me think he had caught it.
I noticed
but
that.
I knew better. What is he doing out there? That was a great decoy, though, by Almodovar. I'll have to ask him about his acting skills later on.
He didn't sell it enough.
Well, that'll bring on Andrew Applin, who's batted cleanup here the past couple of nights. He didn't do too much offensively last night. He drove in the 1 Lancaster run. But boy, did he put on a show in left field in the late innings. He's a pleasure to watch in the outfield. He is as good a corner outfielder, I think, as we've had here. Not maybe necessarily in terms of speed, but in terms of what he does when he can get to a baseball. He's not slow, but he gets great reads in the outfield. He has a tremendous sense of where the ball is going to go and a great idea of how to set him up for plays, for throws, so on and so forth. 2 strikes to Applin from Herron. That is a ball, 1-2.
Well, and the thing is, when you're an outfielder, yeah, if you have the speed, that's nice. But that first step and picking up the ball plays a huge difference. You might not have the speed, but if you can get that jump off the ball.
The greatest outfielders actually read where the ball is going before contact is made.
Wow.
As hard as that is to fathom. But it's like the Wayne Gretzky, what they always said about him, that he could see a hockey play before it developed.
Right.
Really top-notch outfielders, say Ken Griffey Jr., can read the ball where it's going when they see the pitch and look at the swing, and they can pick it up before contact. Applin with a line drive smoked out to right, and this time no acting on the part of Almodovar. He does make the catch. And the Barnstormers get a run back on the solo shot by Terdoslavich, and it's 2-1 at the end of one. Back with you at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and we've had a home run party so far tonight. Quincy Lattimore in the top of the inning with a man on. Joe Terdoslavich with the bases empty at the bottom of the first. Now, it will be via Sergi Rosa, the designated hitter leading Rockers. Rosa, a guy that the Barnstormers had been retiring pretty regularly up until this series, but now Rosa, in the first 3 games of the set, has driven in 5 runs, and including the only 2 runs in Game 2 here on Tuesday. Eric was asleep by the time it happened.
Yeah, I didn't last too much longer when I got home Tuesday night. So kudos to you, Dave, for being able to stick it out until what time?
1:15 was when the second game ended. Last night, we finished at 11:17. So, if we keep that pattern going tonight, maybe 9:19. I'd take that.
So, how many people were still here at 1:15 in the morning?
Not many, including staff.
Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Not only did Blue Ridge pull out, Joel Schreiner left. He had to get up early, go to work. Tom Richards had to get up early and go to work. It was past John Whitwer's bedtime. We had total skeleton crew in here, swing and a miss.
Well, in a couple minutes, it'll be past John Whitwer's bedtime.
Does he get a chance to defend himself? Can I bring him over here later on? You can go to PA.
Well, yeah, sure. Bring him over. Why not?
First strikeout for Buddy Bauman tonight, 77 now this year. Here is Miles Schroeder, the center fielder. We talk about guys in this lineup who have crushed Lancaster pitching. Schroeder has carried it over through the season, especially opening weekend here. Against the Barnstormers, he is batting .429 with 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Against the rest of the league, .233 with 2 homers and 17 driven in. The 0-1 to Schroeder, taken for a strike. It's 0-2. Now, he has been, since opening weekend, he's been their everyday center fielder.
I resent those comments, just so you know. I'm alive and well and wide awake.
We figured that J Dubs would make his way over here sooner or later.
Just saying.
Ball 1 and 2 strikes.
Thanks for clarifying. Well, boy, word to him pretty quickly. Or did it wake him up? I don't know.
Well, you're just going to keep rubbing this in, aren't you? Ball 1, 2 strikes.
Hey,
High pop up, first base side. Terdoslavich over toward the seats. Will he have room? And not quite.
Watch the ribs. Well, I can say I've known John long enough that we can go back and forth with stuff like this.
Terdoslavich now has joined in on the shaved head brigade. I think it's because of the temperatures. The broiler's supposed to hit here in Lancaster tomorrow. It's not going to quite get us in Long Island tomorrow, but it's supposed to be brutal there over the weekend.
Yeah.
1-2, and this is looped out to right field. Golson gauges it, makes the catch for the second out. It'll bring on Breland Almadova, whose bid for an Academy Award came up short. He almost had me. Because Eric and I, this hour a day with that sun beaming in here, can't always follow the path of the baseball. And Almadova is awfully close to making us believe that he had caught the Terdoslavich home run. He didn't quite pull it off. That is a looper in the left for a base hit. 2-out runner aboard. Almadova is on. Matt Jones, the catcher, stepping in. 218 hitter with 6 runs batted in.
Just enough lift on it to get it over into shallow left field. It just seems like everybody in this High Point lineup has just been hitting the ball this series.
And it's what they've done in this series in a lot of cases, not so much last night, but other games in the series with 2. Just Baumann to the plate. That's fouled. 0-1.
Yeah, this is the weekend I would not want to be
Outside.
a catcher, a home plate umpire, or even worse, the person that has to wear the mascot uniform on Monday after somebody wore it Sunday.
Yeah.
Oof.
That could be just about the ugliest job there would be. But
Yeah.
road crew this weekend, you can think of a number of places that you wouldn't want to be.
No.
I'll take the ballpark, thank you very much. 0-2. Eric's SOS from the other night is it's finally being rewarded. As I said, SOS stands for send us some. Runner goes, 1-2 pitch is high. The De La Rosa throw does not have the opportunity to cut down Breland Almadova, who steals his second in 6 tries. It is a free pass to steal bases, especially with a left-hander on the mound. Baumann, they've stolen 4 off of him in his 7 innings of work.
Tell you what, though, if De La Rosa, it didn't look like he had his lead foot down. If that throw is closer to the bag, that's a much closer play, and maybe they even get him.
2-2, line drive toward right center field. Hustling back is Torrance and Golson. It'll be Golson picking it up. It's another run with 2 outs for the High Point Rockers. RBI single for Matt Jones, making it a 3-1 ball game. They just keep at it. That's 4 hits now off of Baumann tonight in an inning and 2/3. Cardullo comes back around.
And again, like you said, it's the 2-out hits. Those are the things that sting. Just unbelievable.
Baumann had 2 outs, nobody on. Gives up single, stolen base, single. Buddy Baumann was pretty decent at holding runners until these new step-off rules came into play. Jones will not go. The pitch tickling the outside edge on a slow breaking ball. 0-1 on Cardullo. But it really affects left-handers. Baumann trying to work out of a quick slide step. Gets ahead of Cardullo 0-2.
You know,
Because that's the way.
I get how they're trying to, come up with some innovative ways of maybe trying to help the game, but it seems like the pitchers are the guys that are getting affected the most.
Well, again, it's all experimental. It doesn't mean that these will stay in place for too long. They'll be here the rest of this season, and then everything's going to be reevaluated. In the dirt, nice stop by De La Rosa. Ball 1 and 2 strikes, and you'll look back on some of these, and the Atlantic League will be able to say, we were the ones who pioneered that and pioneered these ultimately positive changes in the game. And I think some will be reevaluated and just say, nah, that didn't really work like we wanted it to. And I think that's the whole idea. Ball 2 is inside and low.
Well, I hope the one that never even comes into fruition is moving the pitcher's mound back. I just think now you're going to be messing with mechanics with the pitchers, and I don't want to see that.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Cardullo. Jones, the runner at first base. He is not broken for second, and he will not hear. Swing and a miss. Well, Baumann chalks up his second strikeout, but it's another run on the board for the High Point. Then through an inning and a half, High Point leads 3-1. High Point's offense back to work. The Rockers were curtailed to just 2 runs on 5 hits in the second game of Tuesday's doubleheader. But it was a 2-out, bases loaded single. Spelled the difference in that game. The Rockers have banged out 17 and 14 hits respectively. And they already have 4 here tonight. Greg Golson will lead off for the Barnstormers in the second. Golson at .259 for the season.
Well, Lancaster answered with a single run in the home half of the first inning. Get that run back again here in the second.
Tyler Herron, who's been playing professional baseball since 2005, deals inside for a ball, 1-0. He's been in 4 different National League organizations, most recently the New York Mets in 2016. He's never cracked the big league level. Ball 2 is outside low. He's also been with Washington, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh over the years. And he's a pretty big name in the American Association. 7 years ago, a 12-game winner for Fargo Moorhead. Golson flies a foul out of play. 2-1 to Greg. Herron has given up 100 hits this year in 80 2/3 innings. He's walked only 20. Golson, ground ball toward the hole at shortstop. Backhanded pickup made by Leidendorf, and a good play to get Golson. 1 out here in the second inning.
Wow, fine play. Because, you know, off the crack of the bat, he wasn't sure, all right, do I come straight on or do I backhand it? Well, not only does he backhand it, but falling toward third base and then flip an accurate throw to first.
A shortstop has to be able to make that throw, but it's still a pretty thing to watch when they get it done. Here's Devon Torrance, the center fielder. 200 with 1 double, 9 runs batted in. The Herron pitch is a strike to the inside corner. Every run in this game, in fact, has come with 2 outs. Barnstormers as well. Torrance seeing a lot more action. This is his 3rd start in center field in this series, with Darian Sanford moving into play second base. And I like Devon in center field. He covers some ground out there. Foul ball up the first base line. It's 1-2.
Well, and there was that stretch of a couple of games that we were covering where Lancaster was getting 2-out run-scoring hits, and how that can just change the whole complex of a ball game.
1-2. There's a bunt. You can do that now. They're going to have a hard time getting Devon, and they won't. Good effort by Cardullo. Torrance bunts his way on. Under the new rules, you're free to do that with 2 strikes. You don't pay a penalty for a foul ball. You get 1 freebie anyhow. And all he had to do there was pretty much outrun the baseball. He didn't quite do that, but it was far enough off the line that Cardullo couldn't lunge back with the tag and catch him on the leg.
Now Cardullo did his best to try and sell it to Carlos Dano, but good speed by Torrance down the line.
Third baseman Zach Shank steps in, hitting 196 on the year. Runner goes. The pitch is taken for a strike, and Torrance in with the steal. Since these new rules were implemented, there has only been, in a Barnstormers game anyway, 1 runner thrown out stealing. We've had 2 guys reach safely tonight. The total is somewhere like 29 out of 30 now. Parker Morin the other night threw out Quincy Lattimore, and that's been it.
So we've seen Zach Shank in left field, seen him at second base. He's at third base tonight. Any other place he's played?
Shortstop.
He did play a game at short?
I can't recall. I've got to look it up if he's been in right field at any point this season. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Yeah, he has a couple of games earlier. He played right field. 1 strike with Torrance in scoring position. Ooh, look out, Zach. 1-1. The soon-to-be math teacher doing some quick calculations and getting out of the way. Why do I have a feeling that students are going to have fun with Mr. Shank at the head of the classroom? One of 3 math teachers in the building. Ground ball, foul off his foot. Don't know how soon. May not be ready to hang up the cleats just yet. But a year or 2 down the road, that's where you're going to encounter Mr. Shank.
Yeah. Well, you know, I had a chance to talk to him the one Sunday he was out here signing autographs, and I said, well, I thought you were retired. He said, well, he says, I'm going to school and still had the itch, and it all worked out. So he's really enjoying it.
Swing and a miss. He can go, and this is under the old rules, too. That'll be a 3rd strike wild pitch, unless that's a walk now, too. In any event, 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Darian Sanford, the second baseman, will come to the plate. And I'm not sure that was clarified. But if it happens with 2 strikes, it is a swinging 3rd strike, or called 3rd strike for that matter. If it's still a strikeout, or if that's a walk too. I'm going to have to go back and reread the email that we got from the league office today.
You might have to read it a couple times.
Sanford stands in with runners at the corners and 1 out. For now, I'm going to score that under the old rules. Shank takes off. Sanford with a looper out the left. Racing in is Lattimore. He dives and cannot make the play. Shank is going to bolt for 3rd. The throw will be cut off. Sanford ends up at 2nd. A run scores. The Barnstormers won on all fronts right there.
Yeah. And you know what? If Leidendorf lets that go, that throw was headed towards 3rd base. They might have had a play on Shank, but You know, nice little flip of the bat there by Sanford. Great effort by Lattimore, but
The ball bouncing free. Easily scoring Devon Torrance. Diving headfirst to third was Shank. Sanford behind the play into second. So now it's 3-2. Gives Sanford an RBI, his 14th of the year. Anderson De La Rosa bats with 2 men in scoring position. The key to this whole inning was Torrance stealing second base. First pitch strike is in there, 0-1. The new rules are being felt in every way, shape, and form in this half inning. De La Rosa bats 0-1. Fouled away for second strike. It's 0-2.
yeah, if he doesn't steal second, everything still plays out as it did. You got bases loaded.
Unless they have taken away the rule that if the guy's at first base and the ball gets away, the hitter's automatically out.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Was always in De La Rosa with a ball smashed to the second baseman. It'll get a run home. Sanford a wide turn, but he'll have 4-3 to tie us up here in the second inning. His 19th run batted in of the year. 2 outs. Sanford over at third. And it brings on Michael Martinez, the shortstop. Martinez flied out the left back in the first inning. I will have to double during the inning break. I can't. Still alive is Martinez. Aaron comes back. Good stop made by Jones. He is very good at handling the breaking balls down and into the left-handed batters. Lancaster's not seen much in the way of left-handed pitching in this series. A couple of relievers here and there, but the starters have all been right-handed for High Point here this week, and a lot of them like to throw that back foot breaking ball to the left-handed batters, and Jones has really been locked in on those. Martinez fouls another one off. He and Herron are making each other work for this. Locked in a death struggle in a tie game.
Well, the dramatics already here in the second inning.
Just the second inning.
Is that the heat getting to you?
It's been a long last week. What can I say? I'm looking for drama. 2-2. Martinez with a swing and a fly ball out to left. Should be easy for Lattimore. He is there to make the catch. Second time in a row he has set down Martinez. But Lancaster ties the game with 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors in the inning. And there was the 1 runner left at third. We're done with 2, tied at 3.
Final telecast of this homestand. We're back on the air on Blue Ridge 11 on Tuesday, July 23rd, next Tuesday night, when the Somerset Patriots come to town. Games for you Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All 3 games getting underway at 7 o'clock. We're on Blue Ridge 11.
Barnstormers, meanwhile, head to Long Island for the weekend. 4 games in 3 days there, but first game tomorrow is a makeup game, and it really does not matter a tremendous amount. Long Island won the first half in the Liberty division, and the Barnstormers aren't going to get a wild card spot. They have to come back and win the second half. It's the only opportunity that Lancaster really has. We're tied at 3 tonight. Buddy Bauman missing inside, and ball 1 to Michael Russell. Sanford was awarded a double, just to keep the bookkeeping straight. Popped up by Russell. Long way back Sanford, and he's still a center fielder. He's a center fielder playing second base, and those pop flies don't get away from him.
No.
1 out. Tyler Ladendorf, the shortstop, will come in. Still want to see Darian turn a double play. Still want to see him handle a few more ground balls. But you know he's a great outfielder. Like that, he can make. I'm not sure every second baseman gets there, to be perfectly honest with you, but he sure can. First pitch to Ladendorf is a cold strike. Buddy Bauman now back in a tie ball game here in the 3rd inning, and needs to put up a 0.
You know, when they talk about the shift, you're normally talking about the shortstop and second baseman. Terdoslavich is way off the bag on first.
He does that against most right-handed batters when he's playing
Does
first
he really?
base. Yeah.
I just happened to glance down and see that.
So important psychologically for this team for Bauman to put up a 0 here in this 3rd inning. He's gotten a leadoff batter in every inning so far.
Well, and what was nice about that last half inning is that Lancaster was at bat for, you know, a pretty good amount of time.
De La Rosa trying to track down
in the Lancaster dugout.
Two strikes to Ladendorf.
Ooh.
Too hot to handle.
You're right. You know, any little victory they can come up with. Yeah, you put up a 0 in this top half of the 3rd inning. It's kind of like a boxing match. You take a punch, you counter punch. It's the way it's gone. Run, trade for a run.
Ladendorf with a swing and a miss. Bauman still striking guys out. He has recorded 3. Now here's Lattimore, who went the other way his first time up. Right-handed hitters here can get the arms extended across the plate and drive it the other way. It's exactly what Lattimore managed back in the 1st inning.
That was just a good piece of hitting. That pitch was on the outside part of the plate, but Lattimore read it well. Like you said, got the arms out there and just muscled it out to right center.
I have a feeling Bauman wanted that pitch a few inches lower than he actually got it. You're throwing a sphere with the stitches on it, which helps create friction, helps the ball move, from 60 feet 6 inches. By the time you release it, maybe more like 56, 57 feet. And if you miss by a couple of inches, it can be the difference between an easy out or strikeout and a 2-run homer.
You're absolutely correct. And case in point, Nate Reed the other night. Good command of his pitches, but the location is really what doomed him.
Pulled foul on the ground. Correspondingly, if you look at, just say, a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, now it slows down a little bit with air resistance, but a 90-mile-per-hour fastball travels from the mound to home plate in about half a second, give or take. Popped up, Here's Sanford over near first calling for it. They let Darian take all those pop-ups. He's still a center fielder out there. Give way to him. 1-2-3 inning for Bauman. We'll go to the bottom of the third tie. High Point and Lancaster deadlocked at 3. We will go to the bottom of the third inning. Gindel, Terdoslavich, and Applin against Tyler Herron. Stadium. Youngsters enjoying it. The adults are enjoying it.
Hey, here I got the text message about the game being moved up to 6:30. I was thinking that they were doing that because of the weather, maybe trying to get a jump start in case a storm came rolling in, only to realize it's fireworks.
It's fireworks night, and it's just been put in here in the last couple of weeks. Outside to Gindel for a ball, 1-0.
Hopefully we see some fireworks off the bats of the Barnstormers before this game is over.
We already have to some extent.
Yeah.
Gindel with a ground ball wrapped to the first baseman. Cardullo finds nobody home.
Yep. And this is down the line every time because you never know what's going to happen.
Herron a little late getting over. Cardullo was looking for him, and by the time he realized that he might have to take that himself, it was too late. And if he had gone to first base immediately instead of looking for the throw, he might have had a play. It would have been close. Here is Terdoslavich with Gindel aboard on the infield single. Barnstormers want to make High Point pay dearly for that mistake.
Yeah, a pitcher's instinct, anytime the ball is hit to the right side, your instinct should be first step is towards first base. And it shows how just that split second when you don't go makes a difference.
The costly play in Game 5 in the playoffs last year involved something similar. A ball hit to Casey Hobson. Nate Reed slipped and fell trying to get over. It wasn't that he didn't break, he just lost his footing. And Alvaro Rondon was ruled safe. Replays might have indicated that he was not. And it started the downward cascade. Swinging a foul tip by Terdoslavich, who trails here at no balls and 2 strikes.
So you're saying Nate slipped, still got to the bag?
No, Hobson actually recovered and went to the bag and dove for it.
Okay.
It was a mad scramble. And Rondon is fast. Stepping off as Herron had a lead at the end of a complete inning in this losing streak, but now a ground ball on a check swing by Terdoslavich, placed beautifully through the hole on the left side, and for Lancaster, runners at first and second with nobody out for Applin. Terdoslavich almost seemed to aim that. It was a good piece of hitting. Yeah, it wasn't a check swing. He just aimed it to the left side.
You know, I just love to see when batters spray the ball all over the place. To me, that is the sign of a pure hitter.
He didn't try.
Exactly.
Rolled it through the left side. Leidendorf was cheated toward the middle. Applin with 2 men on ahead of him. Andrew Line to Almadova in right field his first time up. Looks at a ball away, 1-0. Now every opportunity for the Barnstormers to jump ahead here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, because so many times people, a guy like Turdasovic, they want to see the power, but
there goes Gindel for third. The pitch is a called strike, and Caleb is out. Matt Jones, a quick peg. And the Barnstormers try to be aggressive, and it's paid off for everybody else. But Gindel didn't quite get the jump, and he is thrown out going into third. The call correct. Hector Gomez lays the tag on his foot. Turdoslovic to second on the fielder's choice. It's the first Barnstormer to be thrown out trying to steal under the new rules. Inside Applin. 2 balls and a strike. You're inclined to send just about everybody right now, but that could be a very costly out to the Barnstormers.
yeah, when you get 2 guys on, you don't want to get thrown out of the inning. Hope that Applin can come through with a base hit.
2-1, and that's a dribbler. No force at third, so Jones has to fire to first base. Turdoslovic advances. The out is 2-3. Now if the Barnstormers would take the lead.
Well, and we've already seen Heron with a couple of pitches in the dirt, and Matthew Jones pretty much gobbled everything up behind the plate.
Missed the one to Shank, which helped set up the 2-run second. Golson shattered his bat and bounced it back to the hill. Quick strike by Heron, and after the back-to-back infield or singles, rolling singles, he's out of the inning. 2 hits, 1 left. At the end of 3, we're tied at 3. It's about as even as you can get. Barnstormers have left 1 more runner on base. We go to the 4th inning, and Hector Gomez will be getting things underway against left-hander Buddy Bauman.
Yeah, what hurts is the 2 runners left on base have both been stranded at third.
Lancaster really, outside of the Turdoslovic home run and maybe the out by Applin in the 1st inning, hasn't hit much very hard. They were somewhat fortuitous with these base hits. Barnstormers, to recalculate, they've got 5 hits, not 4. Off-speed pitch as Gomez chasing. No balls and 1 strike. Turdoslovic again, very far off the first base bag against Gomez. He believes he can get back over there, and he doesn't think that Gomez is going to be able to beat him to his glove side.
Well, obviously a lot of confidence. I don't think I've ever seen a first baseman play that far off the bag. Ouch, there's another one off the ankle.
That hurt. Gomez hopping around on 1 foot.
I don't care if it's 40 degrees or 98 degrees like today. That hurts regardless.
He got himself squarely with that.
Oh.
Coaching staff and the medical staff over to tend to Gomez. If something happened to him there, that would be an enormous loss to the High Point Rockers. From everything I've seen, offensively, defensively, at two sides of the baseball this year, that guy's one of the best players in this league all around. I've really been pained to watch him play and enjoyed watching him play at the same time. But he's been absolutely marvelous, and hopefully he's all right. 99.9% of the time you foul a ball off the foot, you're okay.
You're just going to have a nice deep contusion.
What's happening?
Fouled the ball off the foot to Hector Gomez.
And a little sensitive at that then too. It was almost off the shin.
It was off the shin.
Oh.
Earlier this year, Parker Morin caught a foul tip in the toe. Catchers survive foul tips all the time. 6, 7, 8 times a day you take a shot back there. And this one broke his toe, and Morin was lost to the ball club for a few weeks. Anya Holmberg comes out to see if she can offer any aid. Gomez still down over there on the third base side. Some of the spray being applied. Baumann has to loiter on the mound during all of this. And there's enough of a fraternity among baseball players that in a situation like this, you're always concerned.
Oh, we've seen it countless times. Guys fouling a ball off their toe, their ankle, their shin.
It amazes me that it doesn't do more damage. You know, helping Hector to his feet. I'll have to admit, he covered some distance on 1 foot. It reminded me of Sean Smith for York in the playoffs 2014. Hopping around the bases on 1 foot. He hit a home run, and I think it was while rounding first base, he blew out an ankle. And still made it around on 1 foot to score. And it was one of the most remarkable moments. It was against Sugarland. I didn't have the chance to see it. The feet, standing ovation. The video went viral. And it was truly a special moment in Atlantic League history. And Gomez is going to give it a go here. The count to him, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, what I want to see if he puts the ball in play, how he's able to run.
You'll be amazed. 1 and 2 from Buddy Baumann, who's retired the last 4 he's faced. Breaking ball inside. That's nasty. It's like, here, hit this. You might foul it off the other foot. Or hit the same. Mean like that.
Yeah, well.
2-2. Down and away. Gomez now on the verge of working on a walk. And it seems to have disrupted Baumann's rhythm a little. The payoff to Gomez. Popped up. May stay in play. Terdoslavich comes over. He's there in front of the dugout.
Where was Sanford to get that one?
He could have, but he doesn't want to be greedy. 1 out. And here's via Sergey Rosa. Baumann brings it home, angles it across for a strike. It is 0-1. Our Turkey Hill Black Raspberry is going to be all melted. This inning doesn't speed up a little. Foul ball back. It's 0-2. Thanks to the crew from Legend. Smash to the shortstop. Easily handled by Martinez. That's 2 outs in the inning. And 6 straight for Baumann. It's our nightly treat. We get paid in black raspberry.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you put that paper down, I couldn't exactly read what you were writing, and I was like, what? I think the moisture, the sweat, whatever it was.
My hand was sticking to the paper when I was trying to write. Here is Miles Schroeder. Baumann had him fooled with the first pitch. It is 0-1. Buddy gave up 4 hits the first time through the lineup. The Rockers are 0 on this second tour. Fouled at the plate, make it 0-2.
And he continues to get ahead of the batters, and that's important. Despite them being aggressive, he's challenging them early on in the counts, and last inning and 2/3, Buddy has seemed to get into a groove here, which is a very encouraging sign.
Lancaster fought back to tie the game in the bottom of the second. Missed out on a chance to take the lead in the bottom of the third. We sit in the 3-3 tie. Torrance, Shank, and Sanford, scheduled in the bottom of the fourth, all reached base and participated in the 2-run second inning. Down and in. Schroeder will bat at 1-2. Baumann only worked 5 innings against Southern Maryland on Saturday through 97 pitches. But shutout baseball. Now 2-2. Amazes me Schroeder's played every position this year but pitcher.
Still plenty of time.
3-2. Second full count for Buddy in the inning. And went the distance on Gomez as well. Won that matchup. 3-2 to Schroeder. Pulled foul on the ground past third. We continue at 3 balls and 2 strikes. I find it irresistible to bring up the Peanuts character Schroeder, who is pretty much only seen on his piano.
But you know what? We've got a Peanuts character on our side at second base in Pigpen. Unless he is dirty, Darian Sanford, you said, is not happy.
Ball 4 outside. Schroeder draws the first walk given up by Baumann tonight. And it brings on Breland Almadova. He scored a run back in the second inning. Well, he's the K-man tonight, that figures. Almadova, the man from the island of Oahu. Breland, I love that first name. And on the hands for a ball, 1-0. This happens to Baumann seemingly once a game, where all of a sudden he loses the strike zone for maybe 6 or 7 pitches, maybe walks back-to-back hitters, and then right back on the beam. Got that one by him, a swing and a miss. One and two.
He's just got to be chomping at the bit to try and go deep in this ball game and leave on top and get a win, not only for himself, but just get a win for the ball club.
He's fighting for it. 2 outs, runner at first base here. Almadova awaits the 1-2. Ball 2 is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball players generally like to play afternoon games on Sunday, especially when it's getaway day, but I think considering the forecast of 95 degrees on Long Island this Sunday, everybody's going to be glad it's a 5:05 start. 3-2. Looked like Almadova thought he had walked there. Now a full count, and Schroeder is free to roam. 5:05 from Bethpage Ballpark on Sunday. And the Barnstormers turn right around, head home. They'll have an off day on Monday. Somerset comes in on Tuesday. Runner takes off. The pitch is grounded foul. Three balls, 2 strikes continuing.
And I guess the indications are it's supposed to stay warm like this through the early part of next week. I guess I shouldn't say warm, hot.
About a 4-day heat wave. And 3-2 line drive, and Martinez can't pull it down. Almadova with his second hit of the game. Applin fires and hits the cutoff man. No movement on the part of Almadova. Runners are now at first and third with 2 outs. And it'll bring on Matt Jones. He was the man who singled home a run back in the second inning with 2 outs.
This is where they're most dangerous. Guys on base with 2 outs, though. He seemed to come up with that clutch hit to plate a run, and now Bauman's going to really have to buckle down and try and get this last out. You're right. I mean, he cruised at the end of the second inning through the third and started the fourth with the first 2 outs.
All of a sudden, first and third. Schroeder was off with the 3-2 pitch, so making it to third was pretty routine. Foul ball back by Jones. It's 0-1. The other problem facing Ross Peebles and the Barnstormers is the pitch count for Bauman has escalated again. He's over 80 through 3 2/3 innings.
And then to be magnified.
Ball 1, too close to Jones. It's 1-1. And what we've seen is Bauman ahead in the count and not finishing off the hitters early this inning. Going to 3-2. And then in the one instance, he gave up a walk. Swing and a miss. Throw to first base by De La Rosa. Doing a faceplant Almadova, but he's back. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Matt Jones, who's become the everyday catcher for the Rockers. He's been with the ball club for about a month. Brett Austin had his contract purchased, and Miles Schroeder can catch, but they don't use him back there very often. And their other catcher is the youngster Frank Nigro. 1-2. Inside and low. Almadova had a notion to run from first, but he held up. And here we are again. It's been inning. Bauman getting to 2 strikes on a batter and missing the zone. They're not chasing him out of the zone. Trying to keep the game tied here in the top of the 4th. Here's a pitch, and it is popped up. Back comes De La Rosa to the screen, but he won't have a play. Another high point batter not going down here in the 4th inning. Kept the ball for himself for an instant until peer pressure overwhelmed him.
Yeah, I'm sure if he would have kept that, he would have heard the boos cascading throughout the stadium.
Peer pressure is a force. Never deny it. 2-2. Almadova goes. The pitch is fouled back to the screen, and we keep it going. Jones is fighting with 2 outs and 2 on here in the 4th inning.
These guys just continually to foul off pitches. You know, and Bauman's gone to a full count 3 times tonight, all 3 in this inning. And you figure that's got to be taking a toll on him, especially with you mentioning that his pitch count starting to rise.
The 2-strike foul balls have chewed up a lot of his arm tonight. Jones bats 2-2. Almodovar runs again. The pitch is ball 3 off the inside corner.
Ooh.
He couldn't have missed by more than an eyelash.
I was waiting for Scott Hart to raise that arm. And he didn't even flinch.
And Almodovar steals second base without a throw. First base open, but Cardullo's the guy on deck, so you'd rather deal with Jones.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Schroeder at third. Almodovar, the runner at second base. This is a big moment all of a sudden here in the 4th inning when it looked like Buddy was cruising through the inning.
Well, and as you mentioned too, Baumann trying to find that knockout pitch. Boy, he needs it more than ever right here.
A walk's better than a base hit right now, but you still run into the teeth of Cardullo at the top of the order. 3-2, grounded foul. And Jones forces another. 31 pitches this inning alone for Buddy Baumann. He's working to just his 5th batter. The payoff pitch again due to Matt Jones. Will bring it home and miss. He's walked his 2nd of the inning. Stephen Cardullo to the plate with the bases loaded and a big chance for High Point to retake the lead here in the 4th inning.
But Baumann is just battling out there, but you know, you got to tip your cap to this Rockers lineup. They just continually to fight off pitches and stay alive in the count, and just making Buddy work that much harder this inning.
Cardullo has grounded out and struck out so far. Schroeder at third, Almodovar at second, Jones the runner at first base. Baumann delivers, and he's off with his breaking ball. Unofficially, that was his 90th pitch tonight.
Well, after that pitch, Logan Sawyer hopped up and looks like he's going to start throwing.
Swung on and missed. Ball 1, strike 1. Jonathan Albaladejo threw 4 1/3 innings last night. Nate Reed only 1 2/3 in the opener here on Tuesday. John Anderson got through 5 in game 2 and faced a couple of batters in the 6th before coming out. Baumann delivers, and that is sky to left. Andrew Applin has it gauged. Baumann is out of the inning. Now without a lot of fanfare, 35 pitches thrown, but High Point fails to score, leaving 3-3 through 3.5. The customary garb, but it's got to be especially warm on a night like tonight. And overhead, bound for Philly. British Airways, I believe. I can't quite make it out. I may be wrong. But headed for Philly. It might stick to the tarmac when it lands.
We need the sound of the jet engine so it'll feel like old Shea Stadium.
Devon Torrance leads off here in the 4th inning, or the sound of propellers, so you think you're watching the start of the movie Airplane.
There you go.
And the Jaws theme. Grounded foul by Torrance.
Which was on just a few weeks ago. I think it was the 35th anniversary of Airplane.
One of my all-time favorite films.
Yeah, something, that one movie you can't just watch once.
In one of the most quoted movies. So many lines that have become part of the vernacular in America.
Mm-hmm.
Stop calling me Shirley. Torrance fights off a 2-strike delivery.
And Leslie Nielsen was perfect in that role.
Oh, it earned him the role of Frank Drebin.
Yeah.
Later on, it was the same production company, and he was marvelous as Lieutenant Drebin. Started with Police Squad, which was a summer replacement series. Line drive by Devon Torrance, and the walls will not contain it. How about that, his first home run? I cannot wait for his return to the dugout right now. Bunt single his first time up, now a go-ahead home run.
Look at that smile.
Smiling from ear to ear about that. Nice reception by Destin Hood. Lined onto the porch out in right field.
And again, Albandova tried to sell it as if it was going to be caught, and then he turned to try and play it off the wall, but it just got over.
High to Zach Shank for a ball, 1-0.
Galeb's like, look, camera.
Devon, you're getting FaceTime, pal. Now Shank, a one-hopper to shortstop, handled by Leidendorf, and the clean throw retires Zach. The Barnstormers will have a lead after a completed inning for the first time since the first game of the doubleheader on July 7th.
Wow.
Barnstormers go up 4-3 on the home run by Torrance, his first. Boy, what a great moment. And Darian Sanford probably entertaining ideas right. Wait a minute, if Devon... Instead, he tries to bunt his way on, but fouls that back into the seats over the screen. No balls and a strike to Devon.
Look at that.
Or to Darian.
Those two guys did not move an inch. The ball ricocheted off the top, hit the seat right there at number 2, and just hopped up right into their lap. That's a tailor-made pop-up. And Dave, that's only about 15 feet from us.
Keep begging.
We keep getting closer. I'm telling you.
Look at that. How easy.
Hey, look at this.
That was easier than the Mark Schwartz catch.
Well, and you know, the next time it happens, Chad's going to be in here or somebody else, and I'm going to miss out again.
Sanford batting 1-2. Barnstormers have taken the lead on the Torrance home run, the second solo shot by Lancaster tonight. Darian wraps it on one hop back to the hill. He'll be tossed out by Herron, 2 outs in the inning. And Anderson De La Rosa will come to the plate. Herron has not had to throw nearly the number of pitches that Baumann has. He's in the middle 50s, despite the fact he's trailing. But he's going through the hitters at a quicker pace. Swinging a foul ball back. 1 strike to De La Rosa.
Well, and you talked about how important that top of the 3rd inning was for Baumann after the Barnstormers had tied it up. Now the top half of the 5th is going to be important. Now the question is Baumann going to be out there to start the 5th?
De La Rosa lifts a foul down the left field side. He can't keep him straight.
Well, that is home run distance.
Yeah, he's hit a couple of them on this homestand. Anderson with a skimmer to the shortstop. Takes a little tricky hop, but Leidendorf sticks with it. The side retired in order after Devon Torrance with his first Atlantic League home run. Puts the Barnstormers in the lead. We'll go to the fifth. That's 4-3 Lancaster.
Look at this, Lancaster with a 4-3 lead, and Bauman out to start the fifth inning. Question is, how much gas does he have left in the tank?
Well, he and Ross Peoples are hoping the answer to that question is enough to get through what he would like to be a quick fifth inning. Note on Devon Torrance, not only his first Barnstormers home run, his first professional home run. So congratulations to Devon for that.
Well, that's why his smile was 5 feet wide.
What a tremendous moment that was for a guy who, in a psychological, spiritual, and emotional sense, has meant maybe more to this ball club than he actually has on the field of play. He's stolen a lot of bases. He scored a lot of times as a pinch runner. He's done a great job in the role that Ross put him in, and the role that Ross wanted him here to handle. And now he's working himself in the lineup as almost an everyday player. For him to be batting sixth tonight was kind of a stunner when I looked at the lineup card downstairs.
And so many times when a player reaches a milestone, in this case, Torrance with his first home run, a lot of times when the guy gets back to the dugout, he'll get the cold shoulder. Everybody will just sit there as if nothing really happened. But yeah, Barnstormer teammates were there to greet him and celebrate with him.
I thought he was going to get doused. He probably wishes he had been.
Yeah.
Two balls and a strike now to Russell. Torrance with his 92nd at bat this year and his 309th in his pro career with that milestone home run. His inaugural blast, liner foul into the third base seats. 2-2 runs. My mother kept the newspaper from the moon landing, which is 50 years ago Saturday, and she kept the entire newspaper, which ouch. Wow. Russell gets himself here.
Ooh,
which I went back a few years later and looked at. It was in the top of one of the closets, and I pulled it out, and I noticed at the same time Reggie Jackson hit his 37th home run of that season for Oakland that same day in 1969. That's a lot on the 20th of July. You're looking at numbers that supersede where Yelich and Bellinger and Alonso are right now.
Because I think they showed that stat in the All-Star game. Jackson is the most home runs before the All-Star break.
Fly ball to center. And there's our man Devon Torrance for out number one.
And I can't remember if it was 37 or if it was 35 or something like that. But still, you think about that, in a little more than half a season, or 35 home runs. And was that the year he hit that one up at Tiger Stadium?
In the All-Star game?
Yes.
I believe it was. I may be incorrect about that.
Not to make a play on words, but a moonshot from Reggie Jackson.
Ball inside and low, 1-0 on Leidendorf. Reggie Jackson was an incredible player. I never liked him. I was not a Reggie Jackson fan, even when he came to my Orioles for a year. Fouled out of play, it's 1-1, but you had to respect what that guy could do.
Oh, the torque on his swing, and he'd go down to one knee. I mean, he could just launch some majestic home runs. And of course, none bigger than that 3 home run game in the World Series against the Dodgers. And they got tabbed Mr. October.
Ball 2 below the knees. Barnstormers trying to nurse Baumann through 5 innings tonight so he can get the win. Be eligible for one. The relief staff would have to hold on. Pounded foul.
But you know, getting back to the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. 7 years old at the time, I didn't really understand it. Now, I can't get enough of watching some of the documentaries to think what was accomplished in 1969 and the technology and everything else. I mean, I just love to try and soak that stuff up.
He got him. Baumann with enough in the tank to get his 4th strikeout. That tonight is 80th of the season. Well, if this were specifically the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, tonight we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Woodstock, which was also from the summer of '69. But I was going to rename Buzz Albert our third base umpire Buzz Aldrin just to commemorate the occasion. Upstairs, ball 1.
All right, so you had a lot of things happen in that year. You had the moon landing, you had Woodstock, you had
the Mets.
The Miracle
the
Mets.
Miracle Mets.
Yes, I remember that quite vividly.
2-0. Art Shamsky, Ron Swoboda, Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, Ed Kranepool, Wayne Garrett, Buddy Harrelson. Grounded to third. Nice play by Shank. He'll throw from behind the bag. And Terdoslavich able to sweep the tag around and get Lattimore. Boy, what a great move by Terdoslavich. The out 5-3. And Baumann gets through the 5th inning and fairly quickly. 4.5 in the books. The Barnstormers are up by 1. Lancaster still up by 1 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Up twice, both times to the left fielder Lattimore. And Terdoslavich will follow. Terdoslavich is having himself a night. He and Torrance, the stars of this game by far. Bouncer foul by Martinez. It's 0-1. Terdoslavich could have put that tag on in a dark room. He didn't see Lattimore. He may have heard Lattimore. Swung the tag around, tried to gauge where he was. 1-1. I put him in the pin the tail on the donkey contest after that tag. What a brilliant play by Trdosnovic. To Martinez, 1-1. And that is ripped down the line at first. Cardullo is there, and this time Herron does get over. 3-1 on the conversion. Caleb Gindel to the plate. Gindel is 1 out of 2. He beat out a play like that in the third inning. Martinez hit that fairly well.
Now you mentioned about Torrance and Trdosnovic, I'm going to throw in Buddy Bauman too.
Bauman is battled. It's not been what you would consider a virtuoso performance by Buddy tonight, but against this ball club, 3 runs, 5 innings, considering what else has happened this year. And now Gindel unleashes the lumber. Way back it goes, and the walls will not contain it. Despite what Breland Almadova might be trying to make us think. It's a home run for Gindel. That's number 12.
No, and you know what? I didn't even have to look. I'm watching the monitor, and as soon as I heard that crack, I knew it was gone.
I watched the swing, heard the crack. All the efforts of Breland Almadova to make us think otherwise. That was a home run. Trdosnovic coming to the plate. Well, the Barnstormers are having some fun out there tonight.
Oh,
listen to that sound.
That is sweet.
Some people prefer classical music. I prefer that sound off the bat. That was beautiful.
And unfortunately, the woes for Tyler Herron continue on the road. A 6.2 earned run average on the road. And now he's given up 5 here through 4 1/3.
He's run into the jaws of Clipper Magazine Stadium in the short dimension of right field. 1-2 to Trdosnovic. Gindel didn't need it there.
Not
All 12 of Caleb's home runs have come at home. Trdosnovic doesn't have a healthy cut there. He's gone on strikes. That is only the second strikeout of the night for Tyler Herron, and the other one didn't notch him an out. Here's Andrew Applin, who is 0 for 2.
That's what kind of gets me is Gindel's home runs all at home, none on the road. Wow.
He has come so close to left field so many times this year, both home and away. I can see it more with Blake Galen the last couple of years here than I can with Gindel, because Gindel sprays the ball around. Blake used to when he was initially a Barnstormer back in 2012, and then he became more of a dead pull hitter. 1-1 on Applin. Lancaster leading by 2.
Where is Blake nowadays?
He's in the Dodger system, doesn't play much. Fouled off to go to 1-2. 11 out of 44 this year, the last I saw. Ryan Castile, top 5 in the Southern League in home runs and runs batted in. He's having himself a great year. He loved his time here in Lancaster as well. He was going to come back. That ball is pounded by Applin and in for a base hit. Almadova throwing in behind Andrew, but Cardullo wasn't even to the bag. Applin is on with a 2-out single. Greg Golson stepping in.
Hits a little harder now for the Barnstormers.
This is the best this club has looked at the plate in the second half. Even with the 13-8 loss here Tuesday night, I think they're getting better swings in this game. Golson steps in, the runner takes off, the throw down is in time from Jones now to get Applin, and the Barnstormers have lost their last 2. Lancaster playing long ball, a run on 2 hits, and now through 5, 5-3 Stormers. last night for some hillside time. Barnstormers haven't used the hillside. They've used the picnic deck. Time and again here tonight. 3 solo home runs for the Lancaster Barnstormers. They've used those and some interesting play. Some cheaper base hits. Nice bunt single for Torrance, helping to build the second inning. And now the ball game is entrusted to Logan Sawyer, at least for the time being. That earned run average is still so deceptive because it was built on 2 horrific outings early in the year, and he's been trying to whittle it down ever since. He'll face Hector Gomez. He has a extreme black and blue left shin from his last time up. Sawyer, 6'5", over the top, looped out to shallow left, and Applin is right there. 1 out. Buddy Bauman, unofficially 106 pitches tonight. 5 hits, 3 runs in 5 innings. He walked 2, and he struck out 4. Again, he had a fight on his hands from just about the beginning of the ball game tonight, but he managed to battle through it, did Bauman, and maybe, just maybe, he'll get that first win since May 14th. 1 out. Here's the Sergio Rosa taking a strike from Sawyer.
That's why that home run from Gindel was nice. A little insurance.
A slight cushion.
Yes,
but
a cushion nonetheless.
Popped up foul territory, sprinting back is Shank. Coming over is Applin, neither with a play. 2 strikes to Rosa. A 2-run lead in this ballpark is about as much of a cushion as your average desk chair in the office. Not much. A threadbare couch. 0-2. Sawyer to the plate. This is badly. Anderson De La Rosa saved that from
Rosa walking to first.
Yep. It does add a little bit more pressure on the catchers on what catchers have to be now constantly focused on those balls that get away. Previously, 0-1 pitch in the dirt, let the bat boy get it. Ball 2, high and outside, 2-2. Get a look at Rosa, who's just like the rest of this ball club, having a solid but not spectacular season. But altogether, the Rockers are pretty formidable.
But you know what? If you get a handful of guys that have solid seasons, that's going to be a productive one.
Especially if they're varied hitters and they've got a good mix, right, left switch. Get a look at Frank Viola, former Cy Young winner. Bubber Birdsong, another member of the coaching staff. They actually travel with 5 coaches. Got him. Sawyer with a breaking ball. Logan has retired 2 here in the 6th inning. Miles Schroeder will come to the plate. He is flied out and walked. Bottom fell out.
It sure did.
Nice looking pitch from Sawyer. This young man has impressed me. I think he's gotten better as the season has gone along. Lancaster pitching once again has retired 6 in a row. Now to Schroeder. The fastball is there. And Sawyer just hit 92 on the gun. Now, he had a reputation of being a hard thrower, but he'd been injured for 3 years. I think that's the highest number I've seen him pop. Things getting better for him. Driven out the center field, charging in Torrance. Devon, a sliding catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning on 8 or 9 pitches for Logan Sawyer. High Point retired in the 6th. The 2-run lead holds. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. And we scream loudly enough.
It's been a good omen so far. Tell you what, I'm sure that is a big seller on a night like this.
Greg Olson leads off the sixth. He was batting when Applin was thrown out stealing last inning. Trickler foul, no balls and a strike.
Flying out faster than the home runs.
That ball hit pretty well. Lattimore will chase over to his left and handle it. Third time Golson's been retired. One out, and here is the star of this game. Devon Torrence, what a night. Bunt single, stolen base, home run. Nice sliding catch in center field. He's liking it. We're liking it. The Barnstormers may dress in red at home for the foreseeable future if they hold on to this one. Here's one issue to some extent that's going to be facing Ross Peoples as this game goes along. He used all of his back-end relievers last night to get them some work. So he's got to come with them back-to-back nights. Ultimately, Marksbury, Schumann, Epley, Chassin.
And a doubleheader on the horizon tomorrow. Ouch.
You're going to have to be selective. The fact that Sawyer threw that sixth inning on fewer than 10 pitches is golden, because you likely can come back with him. Line drive, diving catch by Gomez. But still a good at bat and a good approach for Devon Torrence. Two outs, nobody on.
Third baseman Zach Schenk.
Gomez showing that experience at third base. But that could have so easily been a base hit with the third baseman playing up. I love that swing by Devon. Man, he is having himself a highlight reel game. Ball is high to Schenk, 1-0. Zach looking for his first hit of the night. There he gets it. Single to left. Barnstormers with 9 hits off of Heron. Darian Sanford will come to the plate.
Good to see him joining the hit parade. Now let's see if Lankster can come up with a couple of big 2-out hits. Love to see him tack on another run this inning.
Darian Sanford doubled home a run with a blooper to left back in the second. Bounced back.
Well, we saw Torrence with his first career home run. Oh my. I can only hope that when Sanford hits his, we're covering it.
The closest Darian has come is a single off the wall at Southern Maryland early in the season last year. Hit it about halfway up the left field wall there, which is equivalent to the right field wall here. The most likely scenario, and speaking to that, is Darian's a natural right-handed hitter. And I think the most likely home run scenario for him is actually right-handed on the road, hitting one at Southern Maryland or Sugar Land. But he doesn't get the bat right-handed very often in those ballparks because you see a steady stream of right-handed pitching. Two to Sanford.
No, he gets his thrills out of getting on base and stealing.
That is a one-hopper and a really tough play for Russell. He won't get him.
Once it took that high hop, forget it. You're not going to get Sanford.
A peculiar base hit, to say the least.
I mean, Russell had no choice but to take it barehanded, but even then, that big hop just solidified it for Darian.
Was it a pop fly? Was it a soft line drive? No matter what you call it, it dropped in front of Russell, and he had no chance. Troy Steffi knew he was safe. Darian knew he was safe. Rose of the slump for the first time all year. But a chance for the Barnstormers to really create some breathing room. Ten hits on the night for Lancaster, leading by 2 runs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Shank and Sanford take their leads. Pitch is bounced, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, you have a 2-run lead now. Now you have an opportunity to really put the pedal to the metal and try and widen that gap, and that could be so big for this ball club. Not that they would coast into the late innings, but just as a confidence builder.
De La Rosa awaits the 1-1 and skies it in the infield. Cardullo gives way to Russell. The second baseman latches on to end it. 2 more hits for the Barnstormers, but no additional runs. Heading into the home stretch, it's 5-3 Lancaster. That glaring sun, as it does most nights at Clipper Magazine Stadium, turning into a beautiful sunset. The Barnstormers with a 2-run edge as we take the game into the top of the 7th. Long Island and Sugar Land were off today. Everything else was built around daytime doubleheaders. York swept a pair from Somerset 3-2 and 2-1. And New Britain and Southern Maryland split a doubleheader. 9-0 Bees in game 1 behind Akil Morris, and then Daryl Thompson twirling another shutout, his second in a row.
I tell you what.
2-0 in game 2. Matt Latos coming in and saving his 11th. Daryl Thompson, his 53rd Atlantic League win. And he still loves it. I talked to Daryl the other day on the dugout report. And the funny part of it wasn't because of the near-perfect game he threw in the second game of the doubleheader Friday night. I had it in mind to interview Daryl Thompson on Saturday all along. And the fact that he threw the one-hitter was gravy.
How old is he?
He's 32, 33. This is his 8th season in the league. He's from there. He's now the player coach, which adds another element. But Thompson has basically become Mr. Blue Crab. The fan favorite, hometown hero. First pitch to Almodovar taken for a strike. Breland Almodovar has been incredibly tough with 2 strikes in the count tonight. He has 2 hits, 2 stolen bases. 0-1 to him from Sawyer. Fouled away, a second strike.
Well, you know, and the thing about Thompson is, you know, you hate to see him pitch against your team because he is a very solid pitcher, but again, one you can admire in the way he approaches his job.
He doesn't throw terribly hard anymore, but boy, when it comes to hitting spots, that is into the hole on the right side. Darian Sanford, if anybody wondered whether or not Darian could handle the second base position, don't worry about it. He made a nice play right there. The ball got by Turdoslavich, and Sanford right there deep in the hole and lobbing the throw back to Joe. 1 out. It was a good piece of hitting by Almodovar. I don't know that Darian ever has a bad day. Is that coffee he's mixing?
Casey working on some sort of a
Casey
concoction.
Hobson, chemist. Ground ball toward the middle. Diving try by Martinez comes up short. Matt Jones keeps a perfect night going, and Steven Cardullo will come to the plate as the possible tying run. 1 out in the 7th. Martinez was playing him to pull, almost got to it.
This is what's so impressive about this High Point lineup is that
Cardullo is, as you see, hitless tonight.
that's a plus because this guy has just been incredible this series.
Jones on at first. Ground ball to third. Shank digs it to Sanford 1. Darian with the pivot and a double play.
There you go.
5-4-3. No doubts about Darian at second base, and he's enjoying himself no end. Logan Sawyer has been brilliant for 2 innings, and we're at the stretch with Lancaster up 5-3. It's been a series of long balls for the most part tonight. Matt Jones driving in a run with a single and a few RBI knockouts. Driving in Devon Torrance. Great tag by Joe Turdoslavich. Blind man's tag. The Barnstormers have hit 3 home runs. Caleb Gindel with the most recent. He and Turdoslavich and Hobson all tied at 12. Meanwhile, our on-field host Ed, dressed tonight as the Rastafarian that he is. It's Woodstock night.
Oh, yes. I wonder if he had a sip of whatever KC was mixing up there in the dugout. Oh, look at even the fans are getting into that too.
The way KC was mixing that back and forth, I'm not sure I want to know. Hopefully it's all even. Chase Hutchinson has come on for the Rockers, one of their prized left-handed relievers. They've got some good ones out there. 3rd year in the league for Hutchinson. Top of the order up, Martinez, Gindel, Turdoslavich. Michael hasn't been able to find a hole in the defense tonight. And still can't. He lines out the Russell. 1 out. That's economy for you. 1 pitch, 1 out. Caleb Gindel 2 hits, including the home run his last visit. Hutchinson from Arkansas, Gindel from the Panhandle of Florida. Battling here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Way out there, ball 2. Gindel was trying to race to first base. He thought about it. But there is a situation where, because Jones blocked that, if Gindel had taken a step toward first base, he could have been thrown out.
Now, did you ever get clarification? Does he have to step out of the batter's box?
I would say absolutely, but
okay.
I haven't gotten. Again, there was a lengthy email that I got late this afternoon. 2-0 pitch. Banged to short. One nice hop for Leidendorf. And Gindel is retired for the 2nd out of the inning. Barnstormers are still getting some swings in here, but bullets right at infielders. 2 down. Ternaslovich will bat right-handed. You'd still like to see another run or 2 if you're on the Barnstormer side. 7, Lancaster continues to lead by 2. Scott Schumann will be asked to be Scott Schumann, and he hasn't had too many opportunities to be Scott Schumann here this year around the injury and the Barnstormers trailing far more often than not. But this is a Scott Schumann moment, a 2-run lead heading into the 8th inning. Russell, Leidendorf, and Lattimore, the scheduled hitters. Schumann was brilliant last night. He set down the side in order in the 8th inning. He struck out Russell for the final out of that inning. He gets to face him leading off in the 8th tonight. Scott Schumann has been as good in this role as anybody has been in a Barnstormers uniform, and better than just about everybody we've seen in the Atlantic League over the years. Chase Hutchinson a couple of years ago for York may have been his equal.
Well, and a nice job, though, by Sawyer. After Bauman got a 1-2-3 5th inning, he comes in, faces the minimum 6 batters, gives them a solid 2 innings, and now Scott with an opportunity to keep that momentum going in another shutdown inning, hopefully, here for Lancaster.
Second baseman Michael Russell steps in, 1 for 3 with a run scored. He had a single. Was on in front of the Lattimore home run back in the 1st inning. Schumann's numbers in relief for the Barnstormers this year are not bad. 2.7 ERA out of the pen. First pitch swinging, and you get a flare out the left field. Russell aboard with a base hit. And that brings Leidendorf up as the possible tying run. The 2.7 ERA pales in comparison to last year for Schumann. But again, if you take the start out, he coming into tonight worked 10 innings in relief, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He had walked 3 and struck out 8. Certainly not where he was last year, but not bad.
No. And again, it's going to take a few more outings for him to really get comfortable. You know, that wasn't a bad pitch to Russell either. He tried to go inside on him, and Russell just muscled it out into left center field.
First pitch strike to Ladendorf. 0-1. Logan Sawyer gave up a hit, got a double play to erase it. Faced 6 batters, struck out 1 over his 2 innings of work. Ladendorf will bat at 0-1. Shank playing a deep third base and down the line. Second strike quickly.
Well, you're kind of at that stage of the game where you want to cut off any opportunities for extra bases. And a double play here could be huge for Lancaster.
High Point, a ball club that has been tremendous in the late. You pick a guy off with that move?
That's pretty impressive. Russell got a kick out of it. You could see him laughing over at first base.
That would take practice. Bounce off the mound, Will Schumann.
A little more conventional move there.
Pitchers have to redo their mechanics with runners on base. It's in midstream. It's interesting to watch him do it. The best I've seen was Asher Tolliver the other night, trying to hold Sanford on. 2 strikes to Ladendorf. Schumann with a quick pitch. He is low. Scott had terrific stuff out there last night. Beautiful breaking ball that struck out Russell, ending the inning. Russell didn't wait around as long tonight. And after that first pitch, he did get jammed. Floated it over Martinez. Runner takes off. Ball 2 is low. De La Rosa, good throw, and he is a goner at second base. Russell is out 2-4. The batteries fight back against the base stealers. We've seen 3 men thrown out tonight. That wasn't an easy pitch for Della to handle either.
No, and Russell got a pretty good jump too. But yeah, that pitch was down and away, and Anderson picked it clean and just a perfect throw down to second.
The base runner is canceled. It's 2-2 to Ladendorf. Schumann historically has held runners fairly well. 2-2 ground ball toward the middle. Michael Martinez cuts it off and throws to first for the second out. It'll bring on Lattimore, who is 1 out of 3. The Barnstormers 4 outs from the win tonight. Still work to do, but they can avoid tying the longest losing streak in the history of the franchise. A 9-game skid, which was championship season in 2006.
Wow.
Just a blip in that season. First pitch strike to Lattimore. That was a breaking ball from Schumann. He's got the white rim specs back on tonight. This guy has been a beast for the Rockers around a quick trip to Mexico for about 3 weeks. He's been a good minor league player for a long time. I know he was in Bowie at one point. A great signing for Jamie Keefe and High Point. Fastball missing, not by much. Schumann falls behind 2-1 with Gomez due next. Pure fastball, fouled away, 2-2. Lattimore was gone from May 27th to June 20th. Missed 3.5 weeks or so of this season. Still has 13 homers and 45 runs batted in.
Jeez.
Despite that, he had an 8-game hitting streak around the departure to Mexico. And in his last game before leaving, he drove in 4 runs at New Britain.
It's a nice little send-off.
2-2, strike 3. Schumann getting the call from Scott Hart. It's another 3-batter inning from the bullpen. Lattimore's not happy. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 5-3. Along with Eric May, Dave Collins with you from Clipper Magazine Stadium. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Barnstormers will be sending Andrew Applin, Greg Golson, and Devon Torrance to the plate against Chase Hutchinson. A warm and humid night, but as Bachman Turner Overdrive would have said, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to be a steam bath for the next 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be on Long Island. It's not supposed to be too bad tomorrow, but Saturday and Sunday, even there, are expected to be sweltering in the mid-90s. Doesn't get that hot that often on Long Island.
Saturday's a night game, right?
Yes, 6:35 start. Inside from Hutchinson to Applin. Andrew 1 for 3 tonight. Strike taken. We get the 1-1. Hutchinson got through the side on 5 pitches in the 7th inning. 3 balls handled by infielders. First 2 with a lot of steam on them. Tough angle for a left-handed batter. That's why Hutchinson's been so effective. Tremendous year for York 2 seasons back.
Yeah, I was thinking that watching his delivery, to try and pick up that ball.
And he's 6'5".
Yeah.
Which adds to it. Applin stays alive.
That's why when you mentioned earlier, some of the guys in the outfield, they knew where the ball would be hit when it's pitched. I remember seeing Tony Gwynn in an interview, and he would practice, and he would write numbers on the ball, and as the ball is being pitched to him, he would tell you what number is on the ball. How the heck you can see that, I'll never understand it.
Ted Williams could pick up the rotation very easily. Applin goes down swinging there. That was absolutely nasty. Didn't have a chance. Golson steps in at 0 for 3.
You know, I know to be able to pick that up, I mean, that takes a lot of repetition and a lot of practice, but you just figure that's just a God-given talent that, you're blessed with. And, man, to be able to do that, that's something else. That's why those guys were just bona fide pure hitters.
And fielders.
Yeah.
I remember working with Dave DeLucci, a guy Phillies fans will remember. Worked with him in the Orioles organization. He wasn't the fastest guy. It was a ground ball knocked down by Hutchinson. He's got to pick it up and fire. He gets him. 2 outs in the inning. Well, DeLucci, you could put him in center field, and with his speed, he never impressed anybody. He wasn't considered a prospect. He had a pretty healthy major league career for somebody who was never considered a prospect on the way up. But even when he got to the major leagues, he was this way when he was with me in Bowie. These sensational catches, because even though he had half the speed of a Sanford or a Torrance, I think when the ball came off the bat, he could tell you what blade of grass it was going to fall on. And he would make these remarkable diving catches all over the field because he had everything gauged so perfectly. They might have been balls that Sanford would catch standing up, but he still caught them. And it was fun to watch. The Torrance 0-1 skied over on the third base side. Hector Gomez into foul ground to squeeze it. And another easy breezy inning for Chase Hutchinson. He has set down 6 in a row on 14 pitches. Hector Gomez, Viacerce Rosa, and Miles Schroeder will come in for the top half of the 9th inning. They'll see Cody Epley. Lancaster leads by 2. Cody Epley to face the High Point Rockers on his own turf. Epley has had a fairly bad experience against the Rockers, but it's been at BB&T Point. He has not done well there. He's had a couple of games get away from him on their field, but here at home, he's in much better shape. Slender right-hander. He's kind of like, in many ways, the right-handed edition of Chase Hutchinson. 2 of those losses again have come at High Point. But there you're dealing, first of all, with that wind blowing out the left field, and secondly, the turf mound. And if you're not used to that, it can just throw your stride just ever so slightly.
So even the mound is turf?
Even the mound is turf. The base paths are turf. The home plate area is turf. It's all turf.
Now, see, Ephrata High School has a turf field, but the pitcher's mound is still dirt.
Wow. Hector Gomez will lead it off. Gomez is 0 for 3. Man who was batting .415 against Lancaster pitching coming into tonight. He had 9 multiple hit games in the season series. Facing Epley, whose club leads by 2. Cody with 100 Atlantic League saves under his belt, shooting for 101 here tonight. To Gomez, a strike. The bullpen was fabulous last night, and it's been every bit as good, if not even better, here tonight. 1 strike to Gomez. And that's taken into right field, a line drive, base hit. Gomez is on to start the 9th inning, and now you got the lefties coming up. That's a big at bat for Gomez.
And I'm thinking to
Hector is on
myself,
base. Billy Horn embracing him from behind. Gomez strikes me. I haven't met Hector Gomez, but I've been around him enough. He stays at the host hotel there, and I've seen him in the lobby and out front, and I've seen him react with the fans there. He strikes me as being a really fun guy to have on a ball club. Here is via Sergi Rosa, who's hit 8 home runs, including 1 in this series, 0 for 3 tonight. Epley delivers and he misses low and inside. Ball 1, no strikes. Cody Epley has given up now 11 hits in 5 1/3 innings to High Point. Needs a double play or something positive to develop here. 1 ball and nothing. That's fouled. 1-1.
And right before he hit that base hit, I'm thinking to myself, he really needs to get this first guy out.
And Epley has done that over the course of the season really well. He's retired the first batter. And opposing teams over the course of the entire season are hitting over 300 against him, which is highly unusual. We're used to seeing Cody get a slew of ground ball outs. 1-1 to Rosa off the outside corner. Off speed, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Right now you've got Rosa and Schroeder, and they will both bat left-handed. They both got the power to reach the porch. Well, it becomes a bit of a precarious situation for Ross Peoples and the Barnstormers, and you've got to use Epley to face 3 batters. You would ordinarily anyway as the closer, but he is low to Rosa. It's 3 balls and a strike. And the game suddenly is a little more of a nail biter here in the 9th inning. Logan Sawyer faced the minimum of 6. Scott Schumann faced 3-1. Gomez held at first by Turdoslavich, and now the tying runs are on here in the 9th inning. A single followed by a walk. The walk. It looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Rosa.
It's a pitcher, Paul Clemens. Is it 21 or 23?
23 would be Tyler Marenkov.
Okay.
Marenkov, the runner. They pick up a little speed with the tying run at first. Miles Schroeder is fly to right, line to center, and walked.
Well, they got a big play in the 7th inning, and they got Cardullo to grind into a double play. Russell thrown out trying to steal second in the 8th inning. So a couple of big plays the last 2 innings, and boy, Cody Epley needs a big play here.
This is a dangerous matchup. To Schroeder and a strike. Best pitch in baseball, Rick Wise always told me. Strike 1.
Yeah.
Gomez at second. Marenkov, the pinch runner. Aboard at first. Schroeder stands in. 409 with 4 home runs in the season series.
And you can see defensively Martinez shading towards second base. Even Sanford is shaded towards second. Now the line.
0-1 slammed toward right center field. Torrance will be there to make the catch. The runners do not move.
I tell you, the last couple innings, fly balls have just died out there.
And right now, that's what you want to see.
Oh, absolutely.
1 out with runners at first and second for Almadova. Torrance got himself in good position there. Gomez wasn't willing to risk a charge toward third. That's 1 out, and you also get rid of the left-handed batters. That is a huge turn of events in favor of the Barnstormers to get rid of Schroeder. He hit the ball hard, but he hit it where Torrance could reach it. Now Almadova, the batter, 2 hits, 2 stolen bases, a run scored. Lancaster trying to hold a 2-run lead and end an 8-game skid. Epley twirling the ball behind his back. He'll go to work on Almodovar, who drops a bunt down foul. Wow. I like the thought for Breland Almodovar.
Yeah, because let's face it, Schenk is playing deep at third, because if he gets a ground ball to him, he could step on third, throw to first, game over. Almodovar drops a nice bunt down the third baseline. Now you're looking at bases loaded.
One strike on the right-handed batting right fielder. We've enjoyed some of Almodovar's antics out in right field tonight on the 3 Barnstormers home runs. Epley comes back, and it's fouled to the screen on a full swing. Cody has him 0-2. On deck is Matt Jones, another guy who has not hit much except when facing Lancaster. Almodovar trails 0-2 here. Tying runs on with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Epley focused on what he needs to do. The former Texas Ranger and New York Yankee, reasonably local to us here in Lancaster. Comes back with the 0-2. Swung on and missed. That's 2, and Jones will step in.
Now, I don't know if he got a piece of that or not, but irregardless, De La Rosa squeezes it for a big second out.
You look behind on the swing. Epley has the Barnstormers 1 out away from ending this nightmare. Lancaster had been outscored 54-15 in the 8 straight losses. Matt Jones, though, 2 for 2 tonight, 7 out of 17 against the Barnstormers with 1 game-winning hit. 3 runs batted in overall. Epley to the plate, swung on and missed. As the Barnstormers inch a bit closer. Jones, against the rest of the league, is hitting 175. 2 outs, tying runs are on. Gomez at second, and the pinch runner Marin Cove at first.
And let's not forget the guy that's on deck, too. That's why you want to get here.
0-1 pitch, missing inside, not by too much. Jones bats at a ball and a strike. Cardullo on deck. He's been eerily silent tonight.
I like the pitch selection because
1-1 from Cody Epley. The set, the pitch, hit in the air to right field. Gliding over is Golson. He's there, and the skid is over. Cody Epley gets off 1 hit, 2 left, and a victory for the Lancaster Barnstormers here tonight. 3 solo home runs. My vote for player of the game goes to Devon Torrance. What an evening for him that included his first ever professional home run. The Barnstormers celebrate the win. They can enjoy the evening as the Barnstormers take down the High Point Rockers by a final score of 5-3. We'll be back with you on Blue Ridge 11. Return home against the Somerset Patriots in the interim. You can join us on the Barnstormers YouTube channel as Lancaster takes on the Long Island Ducks for the next 3 nights, including a doubleheader tomorrow. Until then, for the whole crew, for all of us here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, my partner Eric May, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great weekend, everyone, and come Tuesday, we'll see you at the ballpark.